name's Trent Yurkovich, and this is my news studio. Today we're going to be talking about stick tricks, and in particular the first 3 stick tricks that I think every drummer needs to learn. Why these 3? Well, they teach out basic mechanics that you're going to need to know for other stick tricks out there. They're going to look great, and 3, they're going to be relatively easy to incorporate into your playing. Now the first stick trick that I like to teach out is what I call the fake twirl or the first twirl. It's really simple. All we're going to do is take our drumstick and we're going to put it in between our index and our middle fingers. So I make a peace sign and I just take my drumstick and I go about halfway up. On this drumstick, it's right about where the blue and the actual wood meet. So I'm going to take my stick, make my peace sign, and I put my stick right in there. Now from here, all I'm going to do is use my arm to make a big circle. Pick a target, just make a circle around it using your arm. Now all we're going to do is take this circle, and instead of using our arm, we're going to use our wrist. Now from our wrist, we slowly start bringing the circle into our fingers. Now this is where it's going to take a little bit of time to get down, right? There's really no other easier way of doing it. First you feel it in your big arm muscles, then you bring it down into your wrist muscles, and then eventually you'll feel it just in these 2 fingers. The smaller the muscle groups, the harder they are to train, but the more potential they're going to have for speed. So like I said, the big arm movement is going to be really easy, which is why we do it first. And then we bring it into the wrist, which is about medium. And then we bring it into the fingers, which is the hardest part about this. Now, what can we actually do with this stick trick? My old teacher was Casey Grillo, and he played with Camelot. Now he plays with Queensryche. And he used to use the stick trick all the time. He'd be playing a groove maybe over here on the ride cymbal. He would switch from a regular match grip into this grip here that I demonstrated at the beginning, where I've had the stick in between my index and my middle fingers. He'd play, do the quick twirl, come back down, go back into regular grip. Now this does take a second or 2 to implement, so it's not like the most practical trick, but it's easy, right? You can learn this thing in a couple of weeks and you can start implementing it like that, right? Play on your ride cymbal, switch your grip, do a twirl, come back. The second stick trick that I like to teach out is gonna be the palm spin, and it's gonna look like this. Why is this one the second one I like to teach out? Well, because it's actually really practical. Let's say I'm playing a beat and I'm just playing over my ride cymbal, my snare drum, and then I want a quick cross stick. Well, I don't want to have to go into a cross stick. That takes way too much time. I want to just be able to go boom, cross stick. That's it. That's all the time it takes. I want to come back out of it, boom. I'm already back in my regular grip and I don't even really have to think about it, right? Cross stick, bam. Coming out of cross stick, now I'm back. All we're gonna do for this one is take one stick. Let's take our dominant hand for me, it's my right hand. And I'm going to lay it out flat like this. I'm gonna take this stick and I'm gonna find that middle point one more time. I'm gonna get real close so you can see. I'm gonna put it right here. I'm gonna take this other hand, I'm gonna put the stick here. And then I'm just gonna rotate this right on that palm. Just right there. Now, I recommend doing this for almost every stick trick that you're trying to learn. Just use your other hand and manipulate it in the way that you're trying to figure out. It's gonna make learning these stick tricks take like half the amount of time that it would as opposed to if you were to just figure it out yourself. Just using your other hand to give your brain a little bit of that sensation of what's gonna happen will literally half the amount of time that this stuff takes. What I'm gonna do is hold the stick regular match grip. I got it overhand match. I'm gonna take my elbow and kind of just bring it in. This is the initiator of this stick trick. Or while my elbow is out, I'm gonna grab about halfway up the stick. I'm gonna use that elbow to turn my hand in, and then I'm just gonna open up the palm of my hand. The momentum from my elbow is going to make this stick spin. Now this isn't the cleanest version of this, all right? This elbow trick is just a way for you to kind of figure out how this works. You don't really need to do this. I just use it as a way to teach this out. After you feel that big elbow mechanic, try to bring it down. We're not trying to do this every time we want to flip this stick around, but just a slight pivot of the elbow will work every single time. If you're having a hard time feeling it, do the slight pivot of the elbow, open up your hand, and just go for like a 180-degree spin. Just go from one side to the other. Very easy to get this one down too, right? So work on this one for a little bit, and then once you have the 180-degree spin, then bring it into the whole 360 spin. Now the 360 spin, there's no real practical use for it, but who knows, maybe you'll be the one that finds out a practical use for the thing. Really the practicality lies in the 180-degree spin. Last technique I want to go over today is just going to be the basic toss. Why do I even have to go over the toss? Well, if you've never learned how to do this properly, I want you to take your drumstick and throw it up 5 times in the air. Right now, do it. Now, 2 questions for you. Out of those 5 tosses, were they consistent? And did you know where they were gonna land every single time? If not, then it's really not useful or practical for anything that we're trying to do, right? If I throw this up and I don't know where it goes, that's useless to me in a musical sense. I need for this to be consistent. I can't have this come down in random places every time I throw it. It has to be a consistent toss so I get a consistent catch. I need to be able to not look at it. I need to be able to concentrate on all the other cool drum set stuff I'm gonna do and just throw one of these guys in there somewhere. So that's why it's important that we get the technique down for this. Technique is really easy, let's figure it out. I'm just resting the stick right here on my hand. And I am using my thumb as a counterbalance. That's about it. And I'm just moving my thumb up and down, and it's moving the other tip of that stick up and down too, right? Nothing too crazy. From this position, all I'm gonna do is push down with this thumb, and it's gonna give me a quick little flip, like a 180-degree flip. Boom, boom. Nice and simple. Once again, just using that counterbalance, just using the flip. So now that I got this little half flip down, what can I do with it? Well, we're gonna go for a full flip now. You're gonna use a little bit more pressure on that counterbalance. Don't use your arm, just use that counterbalance and flip. Now you got a full 360 flip. And so this looks okay, but you know, we really wanna go for those theatrical big flips, right? How do you do that? Well, you gotta use that counterbalance principle, and you gotta use your arm now. Now, I'm not telling you to absolutely beam this thing. We're literally just gonna use our arm like this. That's it. That's all the momentum I need on this. I combine that with my counterbalance idea that I gave you before. Like that. Like that. Now, obviously, the more spins that you try to put on this thing, the more and more variables that you're going to have. If I only go for this little 360 spin, it's gonna come down the same place every single time, so I'm not really using my arm there. However, if I go for these bigger spins, I start using more and more of my arms, I'm introducing more variables. This arm is hard to control, and even like the amount of force from here to there, it's gonna drastically change where that stick is going. Just be careful with that one. I've been doing this one for maybe 15 years, and it's never 100% when you start using that arm. Sometimes I'll catch it on the back end, sometimes I'll catch it here. I'm going for this big theatrical thing. I don't really care if it comes down here. I can still crash with it, right? It's not too big of a deal. So now that you got these 3 stick tricks, you're probably looking for other ones, and you're probably looking for cool ways to implement them. I have a whole vault of stick tricks in the description of this video that I give away for free. I want you all to have it. I got, I think, 11 or 12 stick tricks in there right now, and these are just the first 3. So if you like these and you want something a little bit more challenging, check out the description of my video. It's totally free. And if you learned something from this, make sure you subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. I'm gonna be coming out with tons of these educational videos in the upcoming future.